Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about somebody that will get us demonetized. No thanks to BTech Leon Lush. We're going to be looking a bit deeper than content and actually explore some issues regarding younger creators. The person we will be looking at is Danielle Cohn, and more exclusively her mother, Jennifer Archambault. Danielle's channel, Danny Cohn, is a verified artist channel with over 1 million subscribers. Her channel's description states that she's a 14-year-old American actress, model, social media sensation, and recording artist signed with Oddity Music. And it also states that in 2014, she was crowned Miss Florida Junior Preteen and has since attracted over 11 million fans via Musical.ly, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Now, there are quite a few videos about her out there, most of them making fun of her for what she does and what she represents. Being one of the many Musical.ly stars that invaded our beloved platform, her channel has been at the center of ridicule from various YouTube commentators, much like how Jacob Sartorius was treated when he decided to make music instead of lip syncing. In a nutshell, the YouTube community as a majority does not like these channels, because in the grand scheme of things, it's influence over genuine talent. But underneath the layers of poor singing, bad content, and a lack of genuine entertainment value presented by these children, we must accept that they are still children and that they are still not old enough to be making decisions for themselves. They are enjoying life, they are enjoying themselves, albeit to us it seems like they are trapped in a fantasy world, which is where we will be exploring. So as always, prepare to embark on a journey as we explore the sensational world of Danielle Cohn. Make sure you have your beverage ready because this is going to be quite the quest. Let's get into it. Let's begin by looking at her channel. The content uploaded by Danielle is questionable, as she is only 15 years old and is promoting very sexual-driven themes. As you can see in the screenshot alone, most of the thumbnails are very suggestive. It's clickbaiting a minor for views. The titles also offer suggestive ideas, and the more racy videos are highlighted by the distinct disapproval based on the like to dislike ratio. This is also a common occurrence with most of her music videos because they're just not good. And that is the hard truth. Over the last couple of years, there has been a surge of young social media stars that have taken their place on YouTube, Instagram, Musical.ly, TikTok, you name it. One of the more controversial and debatable children being Danielle Bregoli, or Bad Baby. The girl who rose to fame for chatting shit on Dr. Phil and acting like she's in her late teens to early 20s. She is now apparently a rapper, and that just sums up the state of the internet. The astronomical rise of some of these children's popularity due to meme culture and the viral nature that some parasite platforms have, in turn, created an issue with quality control, or lack thereof. What we've seen is a rise in people becoming popular for no particular talent whatsoever. And even more so, we're seeing these people use their influence in an attempt to invade other genres and industries with their audience's backing. For example, we have the Paul brothers. They went from making 6-second skits to producing daily vlogs on YouTube, acting for Disney and on YouTube, and also making music. Are they talented at what they do? That's a matter of opinion, but what they have is attractive for certain brands. With an audience of children, Jake Paul's Disney career can be summarized as, "This dumb kid has a large young following, so let's capitalize on that for our shit TV show." In viewing the show Bizarre Vark, it's clear that Jake's brief was, be yourself, and not necessarily play a role. Or in other words, Disney wanted to keep the cost down so they couldn't be bothered writing a character. I digress. The point I'm trying to make is that this wave of influence is just that, influence. It's numbers over any real talent. However, when it comes to the younger creators, and more specifically Danielle Cohn, we're at a bit of an impasse because her YouTube career isn't as successful as most of the other older online sensations. In fact, videos about her get more views than our own videos do. So that starts to paint us an idea of everyone's mindset. Danielle's main platform, after the death of Musical.ly, is Instagram, where she has a relatively active following. And it's as bad as you'd think it would be. For a 15-year-old who you'd think would have a younger than 15-year-old average audience, this is not the case. It's debatable whether or not she willingly exposes her body for likes and follows, but it's the premise of her account that really raises questions. Her Instagram is monetized. She promotes brands that pay her for her influence. One of the more questionable brands I found is the energy drink called Bang. Now, energy drinks are generally a no-go zone for children because they aren't fully developed yet. So, with Danielle Cohn promoting this brand, it gives the idea that her followers are near to or over the age of 18. The irony of this is that the brand themselves have laid a disclaimer that the product is not recommended for children under the age of 18, yet a child is promoting their brand. That's a bit fishy, isn't it? Now, brands don't just pick anyone they can find to promote their product. They need to spend their money wisely so they can hit their target demographic. If an energy drink company is looking to promote their brand, they want to pick someone whose audience will probably buy their product. So a 15-year-old is promoting this brand. Therefore, there must be an incentive for this brand to use her. If we take a look at the Bang Energy Instagram page, we will start to see a trend. It's common knowledge that sex sells when it comes to advertising, so it's no surprise that their page is laden with relatively attractive, scantily clad girls brandishing the energy drink. Their target demographic is clearly young adult men. So why is it that they have a 15-year-old girl promoting their product? Literally in the last few weeks, a smaller YouTuber named Exotic released a video questioning Danielle Cohn's age, something that we will discuss later on. However, in this video, Exotic pulled up a screenshot of Danielle Cohn's Instagram story from when she hit 3 million followers. In this screenshot, the age range of all of her followers is exposed, and the proportions are very concerning. The majority of Danielle's Instagram following are 18 to 24-year-olds, which is followed by 25 to 34-year-olds. Her following is mostly adults, which doesn't mean much until we look back at what she's posting. There's an issue when a 15-year-old is posting pictures of her body to a majority of adult followers. It's not for fun at this point, it's for profit. What this shows is that Danielle is just a means for profit. She's being exploited. She's being used to bring in followers so then that they will then be exposed to brands that want their business. You can't see Danielle's Instagram as a young girl experiencing life, because it's a business tool. Her life is superficial. There is no depth to what she experiences because that has all been taken away from her. The one person who profits the most from this is the one person who has the most control over Danielle, and that is her mother, Jennifer Archambault. It's natural for internet celebrities to have some sort of management that orchestrates all of the behind-the-scenes rubble that can be a pain in the arse, work that allows the talent to focus on their work rather than the flow of revenue required to fund what they do. As we've seen with Kris Jenner and her daughters, as well as Greg Paul with Teen 10, it's not unusual for a parent to take control of their children's business for them. However, what this represents is control over what their child does, and it is their responsibility to make sure everything runs smoothly, and what they do is appropriate for their brand. When you look at what Danielle uploads onto YouTube and posts onto Instagram, it makes you wonder how her mother allowed such content to be released. Through the many questionable managers that Danielle has supposedly had, it's evident that Jennifer is very involved with what her daughter does. Because whatever she does do, Jennifer gets a slice of that pie. And what this indicates is that she is okay with exploiting her daughter as long as it keeps the dollars rolling in. We have to look at Danielle's Instagram for what it is, a business tool. In the screenshot alone, there are 4 advertisements. In fact, the last 2 posts in the screenshot are also advertised posts for the clothing brand she collaborated with. Instagram is not the only media in which she advertises the brands she works with. On YouTube, this video here, although very questionable and disturbing, is an advertisement for Fashion Nova, another brand that is specifically targeted at an older demographic. What happens in this video is that Danielle is trying on some clothes from the brand, and she then has her boyfriend and his friend rate the clothing that she is wearing. The clothes she tries on are not what you'd expect a 15-year-old to wear. In fact, the clothes worn are something you'd expect a 21-year-old to wear who goes clubbing every weekend. In other words, the clothing is meant to direct your attention to certain areas. You can try and argue with me about the purpose of clothing, but I'm just gonna let Mikey here help prove my point.
Okay, so basically, fashion, you know what Fashion Nova is?
Yeah.
Have you seen their clothing?
Yeah.
It's really revealing, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Danielle's boyfriend describes Fashion Nova's clothing as being very revealing, which is not something I'd associate with a just turned 15-year-old. I mean, just take a look at this next part of the video. The look on this kid's face says it all. Why is she wearing these clothes? Well, she's getting paid to, of course, and that is the dominating factor over most of the things that she does. In fact, in this video, she and her boyfriend were wearing the clothes from the brand she was collaborating with. A bit of product placement never hurt, especially just a few days before the product is actually released. It's intelligent, sure, but it's just not right that most of her content sexually exploits her, even though she's 15 years old. It's ethically wrong and is a valid criticism that all parties must be addressed with. We can talk about the exploitation of Danielle for money and assume that her mother is genuinely okay with her selling her body. But a few months ago, Danielle and her mum made a video where they go through Danielle's camera roll. In this video, Jennifer believes that what her daughter does is good and that what she posts is okay. She's either completely delusional and out of touch with her daughter, or she knowingly disregards the fact that she is essentially selling her daughter for profit. And she doesn't care because she gets to live in a nice mansion in LA. For her sakes, I really hope it's the former, because it's not a good look allowing your daughter to be subject to potential pedophiles. I say that because that leads us into the next issue. Our recurring controversy for Danielle is the assumption that she is younger than she actually is. There are many videos, some very recent, that seemingly prove that Danielle is 2 years younger than she says she is. This may not seem like much, but given the nature of her content and what we've discussed regarding brands and her following, if she turns out to be younger, Jennifer Archambault would be at the center of a very complicit case of bad parenting. We will start off by examining the video made by Logical, of which presents a real cog in the works for Danielle's claim of being 15 years old. In 2014, Danielle Cohn was crowned with the National American Miss Florida Junior Preteen Queen. I made a table that takes into account all three theories of her age, from her being 13 years old now to her claim of being 15. So according to the NAM website, in 2014, all theories would be valid as she would be at the required age to compete in the junior preteen division, as the event requires a contestant to be at the required age as of January the 1st. Danielle's birthday is March, so she could have competed in the event when she was 10 years old. However, in 2012 and 2013, she was listed in the results for the Miss Florida Princess. According to their age range, the oldest she could have been in January of 2013 is 6, and she could have competed when she was 7. According to my table, there is only one theory that allows such a thing to occur, and that is the theory that she is currently 13 years old. In this case, there are only two scenarios. 1, she is lying and is actually 13 years old, or 2, she cheated during the NAM pageant and was entered at a younger age than she actually was. As an investigation, I took the liberty to contact someone who would know the process of entering into the pageant, and the current holder of the Miss Florida title was able to give me an answer. According to her, she had to provide both her birth certificate and photo ID to enter the pageant, which means that Jennifer would have had to provide Danielle's birth certificate and her passport to be able to compete. She would have had to do this 3 years in a row. I find it highly unlikely that an organization that deals with modeling agencies and various monetary prizes could be duped 3 years in a row by false identification. So based on that, it's hard to not believe that she is in fact 13. As I mentioned before, the video by Exotic also presented information based on her age, and what they found is yearbooks from when Danielle attended elementary school. Now, although this is quite the low blow, as yearbooks are generally contained within that school community, it does lay down the question of whether or not she is as old as she says she is. The yearbooks are from the 2015-16 school year and the 2016-17 school year. What this means is that we have a definitive timeline of what grades she is in. Referring back to my table, according to these yearbooks, she would have to be in grade 4 in the 2015-16 school year. With this, she would currently be in 7th grade. This would be an accurate placement for if she was 13. However, if she was 15, she would be in grade 9. Now, just in last week or so, Danielle made a video addressing Exotic's video without actually addressing it. What she claims is that she was held back in 4th grade.
So I unfortunately had to stay back in 4th grade, and it was not very easy for me.
So if that is the case, she would have also been in 4th grade during the 2014-15 school year. This means, according to my chart, being held back means that she's in the correct grade right now for if she was 13. As well as this, she was allegedly held back a year going to school because she didn't want to go, and she related this to her dyslexia. However, even if this is the case, it doesn't fit into any sort of logic. because she wouldn't have been able to compete in the Miss Florida Princess events in 2012 and 13. So given that, I don't understand why Danielle would fan the flames and paint more of a target on her back and not just present her birth certificate. All you have to do is censor the private information you don't want public, and everyone will stop talking about this. Not showing this helps fuel the idea that you aren't as old as you say you are, and it's beyond comprehension for why you would lie. After reviewing everything that's been done, there's a common trend with both Danielle and Jennifer. Delusion. Both of them are unaware of anything beyond their world, and they don't accept that what they're doing is considered inappropriate and is unethical among the majority. You have Jennifer, someone that is meant to care for her, somehow not realizing that the only reason Danielle faces criticism is because her lack of parenting.
Really shocked, at her being at her age and seeing what some other girls get leaked out stuff. I have to say I have a pretty good girl, I don't know.
She isn't a good kid when you compare her to the rest of the kids out there, and limiting the scope to only a select number of kids is naive. Danielle is not doing what she wants. She's promoting brands and making you money. That is what the online community judges, and you are one of the reasons as to why this persists. And when it comes to Danielle, she has been allowed to live in this dream world without any intervention, and it has spiraled to the point that when she is criticized, it's regarded to as hate. Living behind a wall of disregard for criticism is dangerous, and someone who is growing up in the entertainment capital, Hollywood, it's something she has to learn to accept or she will end up failing. At this point, she isn't going anywhere. She's just a name that commentary uses to get views, and she enables this by being so ignorant. It's not entirely her fault, and her mother is equally to blame for their ignorance. But it's still something she needs to accept as an internet figure. Not everyone is out to get her, but more or less maintain the standards and protect her from herself. It's not just her that is at fault, and not just her mother, but the people who aimlessly take it upon themselves to direct negative energy towards them, instead of raising any genuine concern. People calling a 12, 13, 14, whatever age she is, a thought, a hoe, a slut, derogatory names she is labeled with, it's not on, and it doesn't help. We need her and her mother to wake up, because just attacking them doesn't help them, and will result in them disregarding anything they receive that is not positive. It doesn't help. The only advice I can truly give is for them to take a step back and address the current situation they are in. They are making money. Good on them. But what happens when the spotlight runs out? Danielle is not at that level compared to other creators. She's sponsored by an unknown energy drink brand and a basic bitch clothing line. Compared to the likes of Jojo Siwa and Danielle Bregoli, she is nothing special. They need to look toward the future, because the current direction they're moving will be met by a fall before they know it. Don't call your critics haters, because they will, in turn, have the high ground over you, and they will be the first ones to laugh when you stumble. So tread lightly, and you may get away unscathed. The world of Danielle Cohn is a curious one at best. From the blithering idiocy of her mother to our own ignorance, it is a concoction of delusion that fuels their perception of the world around them and their own worth to the people they so helplessly try to amuse. As a topic, it is one that is important, because the further into the 21st century we go, more and more celebrities will be born from online platforms. It is our duty as the users, commentators, and authorities of this platform to maintain the integrity of the creators that run amok in this community. We should create a discourse to convey these ideas to these people and allow them to respond accordingly. They shouldn't take it to heart, because it is just pointing out the obvious. And with that, it is up to you as the viewer to decide your own perception. Are they just a comical duo bounding around the platform, or are they troubled and in need of help? That is for you to decide. If you have anything to say it in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like would be appreciated as always. If you haven't already, follow me on Twitter at RealBWC, and also go and join my hell of a Discord server while you're down in the description. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and as always, go dox yourself.